You are now tuned into the Wake the Flock Up Network.
Hip-hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at. Hip-hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at. Hip-hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Save the Hip Hop Culture Radio. This is Sector 3, sitting down with the homie Concept.
That's right. Con Dizzle 71 Fizzle.
What up, though? What's cracking, brother?
We're back. I hope you guys enjoyed the James Brown tribute.
I heard good stuff.
So-
I liked it, too, bro. I was listening to it at work.
You know, and my wife's like,
up and B-boy.
I really enjoyed it. It was kind of short. And that's why it's a little bit under an hour.
It's good.
But I didn't, because James Brown was of the era where songs were like 13 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you go and you look them up, it'll be like, and this is not one of them, but it'll be like a Man's World Part 1, Man's World Part 2, just because it was so long. But these weren't really like songs. They were like melodies and like compositions. And
you know what's crazy is that when we're just talking about, you know, what we're going to do for a show, I was trying to get a good feel for what songs, you know, some good break beats, some good tracks or whatever. But the ones I was looking at, you said like 7 minutes, got 8 minutes. So I was like, all right, I got to get some, you know, some shorter ones or whatnot. But it goes to show you how like hip hop or rap music rather, when it was barely developing, when I'm talking about rap music, rap songs, let's say, you know, they were actually jams, and they were like 13 minutes long. You know, you had Cold Crush going 13 minutes strong, no chorus. You know, they were just going off, and that was a track. When Sugar Hill came about, you know, you had to cut it short, you know, radio time and all that good stuff. Even going back to the B-boys now, like, or DJs rather, you had a 7, 8, 9 minute song by you know, the Jimmy Castor Bunch or James Brown, but the DJ looped 30 seconds of it and made it a 3-minute piece for the B-boys. You listen to a song 9 minutes long to get 30 seconds of it and loop it or juggle it to get the B-boys on the dance floor. You know what I mean? So big ups to that James Brown.
And again, I love doing these, right? And we do them, you know, we're being honest, we do them because sometimes we can't meet up or there's something issues. Right. So we think, okay, what would be something that we'd be willing to present, right? And it'd be like, well, Dilla died today. Let's do a tribute. Boom. And to me, I really like doing them because I get to learn the artist. Because you cannot be like 100% fan of every single dope artist that's out there.
Well, there's always something new to learn.
So you appreciate them and you pass and you move on and you continue. And then you always keep your favorite that you're always looking for. Right. But Dilla's dope or this cat's dope. And yeah, you're dope. You like his music. You don't turn it off when it comes on. But that's pretty much your extent with them. And you know they're from Detroit or blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't until I did the Dilla and I did the James Brown and I did these other things. And I'm like, I really get to know them because I have to research them, like in-depth research. And I love seeing the artists that are respected while they're alive. Like the artists that get respect while they're alive as opposed to the artists that get respected after they're dead. Because you know what it is? They're not respected because they were dope. They were respected because they died. So because they died, they're now respected. Right?
Yeah, they're put on some kind of, that's another whole a little pedestal.
And it's not to say that they're not good because they are dope. They are dope. But like, was really everyone really a super dope, big fucking fan of Pumpkinhead? Was it really like a big old punk? No, but now Pumpkinhead died. Oh, you know, that was my man's from day one, bro. Like I was fucking with PH from day one. And I was like, you weren't. None of us were, bro. Yeah. But that's the point. But when you see someone like James Brown, dude, the interviews first of all, like Michael Jackson was like, he is my number one inspiration. Like my moves are like after James Brown, like his style, his persona. Prince, my number one inspiration, James Brown. Whitney Houston, Tina Turner, like James Brown's like James Brown. And this is James Brown's like alive at that time. They're asking him like, yo, Tina Turner said this, and he's like, oh, I appreciate Tina. I love Tina. So like that's real shit.
there's the artistry that James Brown and people of that era, because there's, like I said, there's others, but James Brown really commanded the stage, really put his band, the JBs, he put his band as a part of the show. Mm-hmm. He's on stage and everybody knows James Brown, the name, right? But he made it not so much possible, but made it a point to be like, all right, you always hear it. If you hear a live instrumentation or even you're looking at a video, let's get the drummer some. All right, drummer, you're going to come in 2, and then the drummer goes off. Hence where you get the break beats from, where the DJs get break beats from, because the drummer goes off, and it's just that stripped down funk, just boom, 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 boom. It's like, ooh, that's where the B-boys come off. And then the trumpet, now the trumpet gets in. It's not just James Brown saying his lyrics. It's this orchestra or this band going off on one man's vision. They came in and, like Clyde Stubblefield, which doesn't get credit for the funky drummer. He came in. Funky drummer has been sampled by Public Enemy, by NWA, by everybody. And Clyde Stubblefield didn't see one penny out of that, right? James Brown is noted for that, but it's Clyde Stubblefield who came up with that drum break. Yeah, I mean,
they were obviously dope enough for James Brown to be like, I want to work with this person. But James Brown was the inspiration, right, for a lot of the stuff. So if you look at the description of the episode, it says, there's a tribute to James Brown, who gave birth to what you and me would recognize now as hip hop.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dude. And people, like argue like, oh, hip hop, and it depends who you're talking to, but they'll go back even more. Like I saw one with Killer Mike, and he's like, oh yeah, hip hop like 60, 69, 68, And if you ask like other people, they're like probably early 70s, late 80s. But dude, I don't know, because James Brown, you could consider to be a fathering style of hip hop. Bob Dylan. There's parts of Bob Dylan's songs where that's atmosphere. Like all he's doing is rapping. Like da 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 da. Like that's all they're doing, bro.
And even again, the art of MC nowadays, MCing you kind of blend in lyricism and all that. But back then was commanding a crowd. And James Brown did that along with others. I'm not trying to single him out, but he's one of the fathers of that. Or clap your hands. Stomp your feet, and you're telling, that's when you throw your hands in the air. Eddie Chiba and all that did chants and all that, but James Brown kind of fathered that. Like you're telling the crowd, get up, get on up, get up, get on. And
it's like you see one of the first directors that was credited was Woody Allen. Yeah. Woody Allen did something that hadn't really been done before, which is they called it breaking the fourth wall. So if you're watching the movie, there's the left, the back, the front, and then this is the fourth one, the screen. He was one of the first directors to have his actors turn to the camera and talk to the audience, not in a play, in a movie.
Right.
So James Brown was one of the first ones to be like, yo, get on up, get on. So who's he talking? He's talking to the audience. And I don't know the name of the song. I don't remember it. But when I heard it.
James Brown?
Yeah, I remember hearing it way back. It's the very last song on the tribute, and he talks. He goes like, people, and then he's talking directly to the people who call me. They say that I'm a teacher or I'm somewhat of a preacher, but the truth is I'm just a man. And like, and I'm just like, whoo, shit. And he's like, where I'm from, nobody knows, because I'm from the land of. I'm like, holy.
Soulful,
I'm like,
brother,
and I turned it up, and I was like, babe, listen to this, and then like that. I was like, hip hop, like, whoa, this is hip hop, bro. This is hip hop's essence.
You know what's crazy? Back in '97. I was a b-boy around 97, 98, 96, 97, 98. I was b-boying a lot. And most of my friends were more like the gangster rap or whatever. And not so much that I was trying to get them to transition, but hey, come out, there's a hip hop event, and their thing was like, oh, who's going to be there? Local, whatever. There was this group called West Side Cartel, I think it was the homies, Primo. And they were asking if that was going to be the type of show. And I was like, nah, it's a b-boy event, blah, blah. We showed up, and they were playing break beats. And they look at me like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, this is hip-hop. that's not hip. That's like funk. That's like soul. It's like, that's hip hop, bro. What are you talking about? That's what b-boys dance to. Now they dance to, bounce, rock, skate, roll, which is, we can give that to pop locking or whatever. But like, nah, this is hip hop. So people don't know, and which is where Save the Hip Hop Culture, that's our focus, to let them know. But people don't know James Brown birthed hip hop. And
if we're gonna talk about the essence and care about the essence, like as much as Wake the Flock Up or Save the Hip Hop Culture does care, and we understand that there's advancement and there's evolution and there's other stuff, but if anything, we try to focus on the essence when they make a law, when they go like when someone makes a law, right? Mm-hmm. You can break a law, but you can argue the case for you breaking the law if what you did is the spirit of the law, like the reasoning of the law is not really applied to your situation. You can make that defense in court, and the court will allow that. They go, okay, this goes against the essence of the law, the spirit. Yeah, the same thing with the spirit of hip hop. So if what you're doing is making lots of money and is doing this, okay, cool. Which is nothing wrong with that. But if your essence, if your spirit is not in the hip hop spirit, then that's when you and me start saying, oh, well, it's cool, but it's not really the essence. And there's something that you won't pick up on it unless you're involved in hip hop, unless you live hip hop, because you'll pick up something that doesn't have to be a hip hop record per se, but it'll be hip hop as fuck. Like you listen to somebody like. Dude, I've listened to some Adele shit. And I'm like, whew, like this is dope, bro. Like this is dope. James Brown, like, dude, that was, and you can hear the beginning of hip hop, the drums, the patterns, the delivery, the interaction,
with the crowd, or
the topics. You can start hearing what would eventually become hip hop.
Well, you think like blues. Some early rhythm and blues, that funk, soul, that's all. I mean, technically that's street music, because.
Oh yeah.
And what's hip hop? It's street. It came from the street. It's for the streets. It's by the streets. Nowadays, it's household, Downey, McDonald's type shit, right?
Before, back in the day, like you would have like the opera, and you still have the opera now. But a long time ago. The opera would be like what the rich, what the rich would go and see, right? But what they didn't see was that in the alley in the back was the guy with the drums or the guy with that the poor people would come see, right? That's who the peasants, kings and queens would go to the opera. The peasants would have to create their own music, right? And it maybe not mimic, but it'd be some form of opera, right? But with the street essence and twist, and that's really what hip hop is. It almost has a demeaning term to it, but it's really a mutt music, because mutt meaning mixture. So like blues, soul. R&B, and poetry combined together, you really have the essence of hip hop. Now with everything that's thrown into it, and you start developing commercialism and watered down, that's different, right? But if you're really going to save the hip hop culture, then you're going to have to honor the very essence. And James Brown, that's when you said, "Hey, how would you feel?" I was like, "Oh, absolutely, bro!" Like. Let's do that, because that is the essence. That is a mixture.
And to me, I mean, both you and I, I use the word purist a lot, and I've been called a purist. And I myself,
I don't know how to take that, because I've been called that too. I'm cool with it, but
I'll take pride in it. But sometimes I feel like they're saying it kind of like a derogatory way.
Yeah, like they're trying to minimize, like you're only a purist.
Yeah, like oh no. But see, to me, I would love to do a Cab Calloway special. People were like, the fuck? 1940s? Cab Calloway was an MC, bro. Like, and I say MC, and people might think like, oh, he was writing rhymes. No, he was commanding a crowd. The crowd was there to see this dude, right? So, Cab Calloway, you know, like he's an MC. 1940s. Yeah. Most people won't even.
I tell people Rolls Royce, Wishing on a Star. Listen to that track. What does she have? She has looping beats. She has imagery behind her lyrics. She has bridges. She has this is a hip hop track, bro. She might not be rapping on it, but the rhyming schemes are there for her song. The beginning, the bridges cross. This is a hip hop track, bro.
Well, and I think that's where I can't remember who I was talking to, but they're like, hip hop is innovative, and it is innovative, but you cannot dismiss the fact that hip hop borrowed from some of the best, and it's not all new. We didn't, hip hop didn't create. I think Grandmaster Caz, and actually that's what I was debating. Grandmaster Caz says hip hop didn't create anything, or didn't invent anything. It reinvented everything. Mm-hmm. You can get into debate, because you can get technical all over the place. But it's true. We borrowed from, even the b-boy, the dances, they borrowed from certain dances. The beatboxers borrowed from, early artists that were,
And there's that difference between stealing from
and paying homage.
And paying homage and being inspired by, and also being a kin of. Right?
Oh, yes.
I think hip-hop didn't really borrow more than it was a kin of these two. If you could have blues and soul make love and poetry, if they could, this would be, hip-hop is its child, right? And just like any child, it starts with a super innocent beginning to it, right? And then it gets a little grimy, and then it gets a little thug because it's out there trying to figure out itself. Yeah. And then it gets all drugged out because it's just out there doing its fucking thing, and then it'll mature, right? Yeah. Just like a kid, just like any human, any living thing, right? Any cub, anything has its own, it's crazy, it's wild, but then, and then there's and then there's different branches of hip hop. You could say the Southern hip hop took on more of a druggie, or more of a thug, or more of a duh. They kept that going, right? New York always was super lyrical and super. They kept that, right? More maturity. And West Coast still to this day very thug, very very gangster. See, so you can kind of see it spun off. But the one thing that I think is overlooked, right, are the behind the scenes people, the engineers. Yeah. And the producers.
Hugely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when you buy The Chronic, say 2001, the day it came out, right? It was Dre on it. You knew Dre. You knew Dre was dope. You didn't know how dope Dre was until Chronic and 2001, right? You didn't know until, to this day, you can play any track of any of those two CDs, and it will air like it was released today. It's not like you can hear oh, that is some old ass. No, bro. If someone made that today, it'd be a hit still.
True, very true. And just a little side note, I think that's why you got mixed reviews with Dre's Compton album.
Yeah,
because they were expecting that feel, and it. I mean, it. I won't get into it, but it wasn't. It wasn't the Chronic. It wasn't the Chronic 2001, which is a good and a bad thing. Because again, you anticipate that G-Funk Dre. And you didn't get that G-Funk Dre.
Yeah.
But, again, going back to it, the producers, the A&Rs, the people that are behind these classic albums get overshadowed by the face on the CD or cassette.
And they should, right? Because they're backup. They're backup to that's the infantry soldier. These are the guys that are cooking, washing the sheets, making sure he's getting paid. These are the guys that are making sure. Those guys are just as important as the infantry guy. So it's cool. It's understandable. There's people behind the scenes that don't even want to be in the yo, bro, I'm gonna make my money back here, dog, and I don't have to worry about looking good.
Yeah. There's a lot of producers. There's a lot of producers that use aliases.
Yeah,
I can't think of one off the top, but let's say I'm a producer and be like, no, I want to go out by this name. And then, 10 some, years later, they come out yo, I was part of that album. And it's a classic. One person that comes up to mind, K-Def. Some of y'all might even know who K-Def is, right? However, K-Def played a huge part in Lords of the Underground's first album, Here Come the Lords. Classic album. Up for debate. I love it. Classic album, but K-Dev played a huge part in that. K-Dev is only getting mad props just the last couple years because he's releasing beat tapes. Not knowing this dude goes back to the early 90s, maybe even late 80s, right? Again, producers only now are making a lane for themselves where they can release music solo instrumentals. That's not old. I mean, this is some new stuff. 10 years old to give it most of the to give it the benefit of the doubt. Again, K-Def is one of them. You got Floyd the Locksmith. These are producers that noticed, whether they're fed up, be like, I'm producing for this rapper and I'm only getting a credit in the insert. They're becoming artists within themselves. Like, I'm gonna release this on CD or whatnot, but they're getting recognition. then you have your like, I'm going back, Melly Mel. I mean, I'm not Melly Mel. Marty Marl. He was known. I mean, this guy was known from LL Cool J to Eric B. and Rakim. I mean, he was making hits left and right. It got to the point, maybe early 90s, where the producer, same as the DJ, kind of got pushed back. Don't know why, but they got pushed back, and it was the MC taking light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, again, there's a bunch of producers out there. Some that you might even look at a picture of this producer and be like, what the fuck? Like, this dude was part of what?
Yeah.
Like Paul C. I don't know if you ever heard of Paul C. So Paul C. Played. Well, anyway, we're talking about Paul C. Right?
Yeah.
So these people, there's producers out there that for one reason or another might have not wanted to be in the spotlight or weren't in the spotlight. Again, Paul C. Again, I don't want to bring race into it, but it's inevitable. Paul C is a white dude, right? You look at him, you look at a picture and be like, there's no fucking way this dude worked with Large Professor. There's no way he helped Let the Rhythm Hit Him with Eric B. and Rakim. There's no way he was a part of the whole album by Ultramagnetic MC's The Critical Beatdown, which is a classic. Paul C, really? Guys, look it up right now. As you're listening to this, look up Paul C, producer. The image that comes up, you're going to think like, yo, this is a Glamour Shots picture. Like, there's no way this cat is in any way, shape, or form involved in hip-hop.
And that is proof that hip-hop is kind of born into some people. And what I mean is, and they are born into hip-hop. Like, hip-hop, the essence of hip-hop is just in some people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that these cases in particular, but if you're going to go with, hip-hop is a black thing, or hip-hop is like, dude, that's an ignorant statement.
Sounds some Lord Jamar shit.
It's some ridiculous shit. White people are a guest in the house of hip-hop. It's like, bro, hip-hop, they're not a guest in the house. Hip-hop is the house. The hip-hop is the house, and everyone's fucking welcome, and everyone can come in, and everyone can build a room if they want, or everyone can fucking try to burn it down. Dude, hip-hop is not a discriminatory thing, because, and I love, someone told me this, I think it was, who was it? I think it was Cookbook who told me, what does color matter to a mic? Or what does color matter to a trumpet? Ooh. What does color, to a drum set? Bro, it doesn't give a fuck. If you can rock it, you're going to rock it, right? Paul Rubin? No. Rick Rubin.
Def Jam, yeah.
White guy. Yeah. The guy that owned Def Jam before, like, 6 people now. The very first dude that signed DMX and signed Ja Rule. And
that's him, Rick Rubin.
No, there's another dude.
A white dude?
Yeah, I think he might have been like Arabic or something. He had like a different accent to it. I'll look it up and I'll remember it.
Well, I mean, even people like we're talking 90s though, but Tony D, which went by like Harvey Wallbanger, he produced some of the illest music for Poor Righteous Teachers. Now, Poor Righteous Teachers was pro-black.
Yeah,
but a white dude is producing this shit. How can you tell me? This is strictly, I don't give a fuck. This is strictly to Lord Jamar, because him and I went back and forth, and the pussy blocked me. How are you? I don't care, dude. I'm still bitter about that shit.
Fuck that guy. Yeah.
How are you gonna say, like, one thing again? I say it time and time again. Hip hop. When you say hip hop to me, you're talking b-boying, graph, and all that shit. So Lord Jamar can't tell me. You can't tell me.
What's his name?
I'm trying to remember his name as I'm looking at him. You can't tell me. White people or Mexicans or Puerto Ricans are guests in hip-hop. Taki 183, graffiti writer. Batch, B-boy. Like, come on, dude. Like, these people were part of hip-hop before you even came in there. Like, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and so now you're discrediting all the Puerto Ricans that were B-boys or MCs, all the white MCs that came in. Okay, so Eminem, it's just not hip-hop, though. He's just visiting.
See, what's funny is that he gives credit to Eminem, but
okay.
But he says...
Okay, because he's dick-riding Eminem.
Yeah, that's all it is. And that's Lord. I'm not going to give more shit to Jamar. But, again, going back to
hold on. The sad part of that, because I had this discussion with Ari the Rugged Man, he agrees with Lord Jamar.
Don't fucking tell me that.
It's on the interview.
Yeah, I remember that.
He agrees with them.
He
goes, and I told him, look, hip hop, like any art form, belongs to whoever's creating it. The hip hop was not complete, and then everybody's taking from it. hip hop is incomplete and everybody's adding brushstrokes. So how can my brushstroke mean more than yours if we're both equally painting? Where does this belong? Why is this?
There's we might get off topic, but there's a fine line. I understand it. I don't want to hear, and I don't even know names to be honest with you, but like a riffraff.
Yeah.
That's definitely killing shit.
Yeah.
Like and not in a good way. You're not killing shit in a good way. But you'll have like Slug. How can you discredit Slug? How can you discredit Aesop Rock? How can you discredit LP? There's no fucking way you can discredit.
Marco Polo, you talk producers now.
Polo.
Let's
Polo,
talk.
Actually, Polo's out with Master Ace in Europe right
again.
now. Yeah, bro.
They're back. They're back. Okay, so the topic of this one was producers.
And we're kind of whatever. It's all
But that's
organic,
what
baby.
It's organic. So again, people behind the scenes that don't get enough credit, engineers and producers, and those are the immediates. Dude, I'm right now. Razzcast is dropping So on Ice 2.
Yes.
His manager, okay, could be a white dude, could be an Asian dude. It doesn't matter. His manager is gonna have me set up and sit down with him and be able to talk again. That's someone in hip hop who's not getting credit. The managers don't get credit, bro. They're DL, but they're a major dude. You know how many deals managers have negotiated for artists to be where they are.
Oh,
you don't think Jay-Z had an original manager, DMX or whoever had a manager that was like, yo, no, this is what we're gonna do. This is the table my artists are. But boom. They're in hip hop just as much. Maybe their heart and souls are not in it. Maybe it is. Maybe it's like, yo, this would be really dope, bro. I mean, you can't wait to get this. You deal with DJ Premier's people. His tour manager was like, yo, man, we appreciate anyone trying to keep the culture alive. So anything we can do to make it happen, we will. But, dude, that's someone who loves hip hop, but take a different job, different way to provide, right?
People
and
like
contribute.
Yeah, of course. I'm 100%. I'm not glad you brought that up. When we talk producers, I'm personally not taking it all just producing a beat, but you could also go back like Ted Demme. Ted Demme was a big hip hop head, right? Before MTV, he used to work for MTV before rap music was the big thing, right? But he pushed to get a pilot so they can have rap videos aired.
Yeah.
And he pushed for it. They gave him the pilot.
Yeah.
It went a lot better than they thought. Thanks to Ted Demme, a white dude. Again, not that race matters, but a white dude. MCs and hip hop got exposed to MTV. You had your Yo MTV Raps.
Yeah.
Right? Where's the credit for that? Oh, where's Lord Jamar with that? I don't want to make it about Lord Jamar. I'm just bitching now. But
no, fuck that.
But again, cats like Paul C doesn't get the credit. DJ Shy Skills, right? So I had a conversation with Shy Skills about Onyx. So Onyx dropped their first album in '93 called Back the Fuck Up, right? And everyone, and even myself, we tend to forget. And I'm first one to admit, when I put, on this day in 1993, Onyx releases their debut album, boom, 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 right? That's that. And then he came back, he's like, yo, but you didn't give me credit. It's like, oh shit, that's right. DJ Shy Skills, Aguilar the Don had something to do with that album too. No one gives credit because they're not on the cover. We tend to forget, but a lot of people, white, black, Asian, brown, whatever it is, go into making this solid album. For some reason, don't get that respect,
right? And
notification.
Sometimes it's on purpose and it's agreed upon.
Right.
Sometimes the MC just overshines it so much that it doesn't become a producer album, becomes an MC album. But sometimes it's the opposite. So sometimes when I don't know, dude, when I listen to a Prime, I'm really more listening for Premier than I am for
beats?
Royce. All love and respect to Royce, but I'm really on those Primo beats. Like I can't wait to hear that. And then when you hear like Joey Badass in Premiere, now you're like, this is clash of dopeness. I'm happy to hear both, right? Sometimes they'll get a better thing, but the ones that don't get them a lot would be the engineers because they're underappreciated. Like they're like that, that's a standard. It should be good.
Right.
But producers, which is what the topic of the show is, these sung and unsung heroes, because you have your Dre's and you have your Premiers where like they're the stars of the show, but then you have your Scott Storch, which maybe some people know, some people don't, but his beats, you've heard them. You've
Whether
listened,
you know it or not.
You've heard them.
Oh yeah,
you've heard them, and that dope, and those beats are super dope.
Yeah,
right. But he doesn't come out and go like, yeah, this is no. It's just, but in the back, his checks, of course, and in the back of the CD, produced by Blank Blank, right?
Yeah.
So give me the first producer that you want to display.
You know, Concept, and listeners maybe already know too. I'm a big abstract dude.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you Swiss beats. I'm a fan of Primo, but I'm not gonna go like, yo, I got a Primo beat. I like to give some
Diggable Planets type
shit. No, it's just
they're coming back.
Yeah, they are, bro. I'm trying to get them.
Dude, I'd be so down for that.
I'm a big Diggable Planets fan, so hopefully we can get that. But
all right.
That's premature.
Yeah.
But I like the abstract stuff. I like the stuff that takes you, a beat that can tell you a story without the lyrics. I like that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. I'll say it like this, and it has nothing to do with the company. It has nothing to do with iTunes or Bandcamp. It has to do with the artist doesn't have enough followers or money to get on iTunes, and he only has a Bandcamp. That type of flavor where it's like there's people like my boy Major Dynamic.
Underground shit.
So Major Dynamic is a brother out in Vegas too. Check him out. That's not who I picked, but Major Dynamic is a producer. He's releasing stuff every month. Nonetheless, I'll go back. So the producer I chose, French producer, right? Hip hop is worldwide, baby. His name is Al Tarba. And hopefully I don't chop up that name.
Okay.
The name is Al Tarba.
Yeah.
The track is I Hear You. And it's, again, a French producer. Lullabies for Insomniacs is the name of the album.
Oh, that's so dope.
We're going to get into it right now. Like I said, the track's called I Hear You. And it's one of those things where you can zone out. Sometimes I get tired of just listening to albums, and I just need a good instrumental. And this is the type I listen to personally. Dope. So here it is. All right, y'all. So that was I Hear You by Al Tarba. Again, hopefully I'm not chopping up the name a little bit. French producer. Lullabies for Insomniacs from 2005. 15.
Was that strictly instrumental?
It's all instrumental, yeah.
There was nobody on the track.
No, nobody on the track. No one's rapping. It's just all instrumental. And people tell me like, how the fuck
I love that.
Do you really just listen to instrumentals? Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah,
like,
dude. It's so good. Yeah.
I got. You know, I'm gonna name some names out. Emma P, which I believe is Polish.
Mm-hmm.
He just released an album, and he released it on Cold Busted, and we did a giveaway with them. But it just goes to show you how hip hop can go anywhere. You don't have to be a lyricist. There's a lot of MCs out here that want to be a part of hip hop so bad that they go into it saying like, "Fuck MC, that's the only way I can get on," and their rhymes are mediocre. You know what I mean? And they're, you know, because we got MCs that do beats, you know, that are producers. Cryptic one, Adam's Family. He's a dope MC and a dope producer, right? Mm-hmm. But they're saying I'm gonna produce my own beat, I'm gonna rhyme on it, and their beat supersedes their lyricism. Some cats, this is me just, you know, not judging, but just, you know, thinking maybe that's what they do. Producer skills are off the hook, right? They say, well, the only way I can get on is to rhyme. I'm going to rhyme on it, release this, and it doesn't go anywhere because, again, the beat is dope, but your rhymes are okay. Sometimes, and I've known people, they say, like, yeah, you know what? This doesn't work for me. I'm going to release an all-instrumental album. And their instrumental career, just beat tapes, are more successful than the lyrics.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
It's we know what happens a lot is you start to get nervous. Right? And this is something that I can vouch for is you don't see the result that you were hoping to see or that you thought you would see when you want to see them.
Yeah.
So you start to get nervous and you start questioning yourself and you're like, fuck, you know, like, is this the right way? What else should I be doing? So then you start clinging and you start saying, okay, what else can I do to get noticed? Well, now a producer might go, okay, well, all right, I'm going to have to spit on these. Like, I'm going to have to rap on these because that's the only way that it'll get picked up. And if they like me rapping, then they'll be like, who produced it? And I'll be like, well, I did. It'll be that. But you trust in your stuff, trust in your music, trust in stuff, because there are those producers who have never picked up a mic and their beats speak for themselves.
Exactly.
Right? And then you have then you have that special breed of artist that produces their own beats. And some artists, I like my good friend Edifica.
Yeah, Edifica.
He can't rap on his own beats. He says it throws him off. He says he has real difficulties rapping over his own beats. So what he'll do is he'll manage to get it done, but he says he always feels better rapping over somebody else's beats. But he'll work his own stuff and he'll manage it, but he has difficulties. And then you have artists like Tone Deaf.
Yeah.
So Tone Deaf is the type of artist who is too artistic for his own good. And I've told him to his face. And what happens is he'll be the type of dude that will produce the beat, write the beat, engineer the beat, compose the album, create the album cover. So by the time that this has happened, dude, he's 10 months in. When this could have taken him 4 if he just let somebody else do the drawing, let somebody else do the engineering, and he just take these two things. But he just wants to be so involved. And then even when it comes to release, he's too artistic. He'll go, no. 4-track EP, 4-track EP. And then what I'll do is I'll have each one is a different sin, right? So these 4 songs will go to that, and then the one is a horse. Like I told him, dog, you're super, but you need to stop doing this because you're falling over yourself. Def is what I told him. You're kind of tripping yourself up. It's super dope, super tight that you're that artistic, but sometimes you got to let other people do it so that you can get your art out in time.
It's a certain crowd that'll not that they'll respect it because we respect it, but it's a certain crowd that'll feed off of that. But others want. I mean, it is. You said
it'll be the hardcore fans that will follow him. But then he's taking 3 years to drop a new CD, and some Acrobatic took 7. It's like.
He's been trying to come out here too, bro.
Come on, yo! Like and he himself says, you know, I'm not the most prolific rapper, but whenever I do drop my shit, people really like it. But he doesn't drop enough shit, which is an issue, which is a problem, right? But we're getting distracted. But I'm saying it's artistry. The artist that I picked is so I could have gone with Evidence, which is one of my favorite producers, or Alchemist, which is one of my favorite producers. Premier, those top. But when I was coming up, there was this producer who strictly produced. He went by the name Joey Beats.
Oh, Joey Beats.
So Joey Beats was, I don't know if originally, but was at one time signed on to Strange Famous, the Sage Francis label. So Joey Beats had a single, a CD at the time, and it was called Reverse Discourse.
Okay.
So Reverse Discourse by the Joey Beats. His name is The Joey Beats is his name, and just singles. And he had one, or not singles, but all of them instrumentals. And there were none of them were more than 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of him just displaying what he had. And he released that whole album with like 14 tracks with only one MC on any one of those tracks, and that was super dope.
That's my type of beat tape.
It was super dope. So I'm gonna play. Man, I can just go off the rock, but I think we're doing just instrumentals, right? So I'll just pick an instrumental.
You could do it. I mean, it's all again organic, baby.
There's one. The MC name was Ramen Rock.
Okay,
was his guy, and that's the only track that's over 3 minutes long. Or 3 minutes, something like that. But it was so good at the time that sparked my interest into the rest of the songs, and they were super amazing. So Joey Beats is the producer. The song is called "The Clock with No Hands," featuring Ramen Rock. Save the Hip Hop Culture Radio.
Let's get.
As you no doubt have heard, his methods are somewhat unconventional, but I am sure you will come to respect his artistry. Just leave the man alone. He will be completely authentic. He's not interested in our questions or our praise or our conversations. He's chasing an altogether different ghost.
Gonna cry this time, I'ma fight it. Before I choke and swallow my tongue, I'ma bite it and make it bleed. Takes that, doesn't it feel right? It seems like there's no one to chat to when your jaw's tight and jittery. My misery's deficient. Pardon his ignorance, pa, he doesn't listen. Steady clinging on my collar, a full-blown affliction. Face wrinkling, worry, sweat dripping. My clammy palms starve for a steady handshake, but they're consistently gripping. Nervous hands that shake. What is shallow? Is it see-through? If I blindly casted an arrow, could I defeat you? I'm like a cherub with a rusted halo. When my wings flap hard, they can outrace a tornado. I bathe in the sap of my family tree. I crave to set the past of my family free. Afraid to see the wrath of my skeleton key. Perhaps the looking glass laughs last. So howdy doody, they call me Mr. Moody. Let the sun shine through me and then spit out a rainbow. Every angle of the spectrum is touched in slow-mo. Life is like a swing set, up and down we go to the place where the wonderful wildflowers grow. It's all in the mind, the effect of the placebo. So, hear you gather round, young cuz, and salute to the giving tree the fruit drops from. Where the warriors walk, let's march from Mother Earth's drums. My blood pumps to a hum. Hear you gather round, young cuz, and salute to the giving tree the fruit drops from. Where the warriors walk, let's march from Mother Earth's drums. My blood pumps to a hum. By the time on the clock with no hands, like a game of 21, I play the ball where it lands. I be digging my feet deep in the compost heap. If I gotta get mine, then I'ma get it dirt cheap. You better watch what you say. The walls are wearing hearing aids. They'll jumble your words up and throw shit on your name. I wonder what came first, the chicken or the brave. It's only a matter of time before none of us behave. And I live in danger, cause I play tag with strangers, anxious to see what lays behind these blank faces. I hold no fear against the cold stare. The Lord taught me how to hold my ground in a lion's lair. As the sun goes down, take a ride on my merry-go-round, round, round. Dancing with a temper tantrum, strength of a bear hug. Invested in my blood, brethren, circle of real love. No matter what, I'ma stay blue collar. Dirty working man, strong so long shower. Attitude true, as long as my blood is blue. If you working for me, then I'm working for you. To my immediate family and close-knit crew, I'd like to thank you for all the good you do. I'd like to thank you for all the good you do. I'd like to thank you. Hear you gather round, young guns, and salute to the giving tree the fruit drops from. Where the warriors walk, let's march from Mother Earth's drums. My blood pumps to a hum. Hear you gather round, young guns, and salute to the giving tree the fruit drops from. Where the warriors walk, let's march from Mother Earth's drums. My blood pumps to a hum. DJ Mechalek, y'all. Joey Beats. motherfucker fleet.
Pathetic as someone you look up to. Doesn't necessarily mean you're as good as
2002,
in order to bark, all you have to do is open your mouth.
yeah.
We're back.
Gee-aw.
Yeah, that was called The Clock with No Hands, the Joey B Conspiracy off the album Reverse Discourse featuring Ramen Rock. Sixtoo put out a super abstract producer. And to me, dog, I like abstract hip-hop. I'm all for it, but it wasn't my forte. Like, I'd fuck with Diggable Planets and Soul. Soul would be kind of out there. You know, he'd do his thing, or what was the other cat's name? There was a what was it? It was so you know, just like the abstract dudes, you know.
Yeah.
But I really like my style was more the I don't know what you would call it, like the more like the Sage Francis atmosphere, where they weren't out there. They were more like emotionally speaking and bonding. So the beats had to do the same. That the beats weren't always for you to like trip out on. It was more to like amplify what they were saying. Right. So if you listen to like an amp beat on an atmosphere, like
now that hats off. Personally,
and might be my favorite hip hop producer. Yeah. Right. So
that Anticon album too. Woo.
Responsible for Lucy. I mean, anything atmosphere. Yeah, anything atmosphere. Right. Even Felt up to the third one where Aesop produced all that.
Right.
Anything he does, and I think he only works exclusively with atmosphere, bro. Like I think
I heard that in an interview, or it's a written interview, where he strictly.
But before it was different. Before he did shit with everyone, with the whole rhyme series when they were younger.
Hell yeah.
He made all those tapes, all that stuff. That he did that. But once Atmosphere took off with Atmosphere, I think he solely does it with them.
Same thing with Key Cool of the Visionaries. Key Cool is a dope producer, and you know he used to be with Cosmonauts with Redmatic.
Yeah.
And Key Cool was a producer. You know, people hit up from what I've known, hit up Key Cool for beats. Key Cool's like, I strictly mess with Visionaries and my crew, and he keeps it like that. It's like, yo, I'm only gonna mess with the crew, and it's not in a way where it's like, oh, I don't want to mess with you. I don't want to do it. It's that feeling of being with your crew.
And if you're successful, super successful, like an Ant or him, he doesn't need to go out there and reach. Maybe artistically, he's not what he vibes with. But someone like Premier, who, obviously Guru, right? And even when he was with Guru, he did stuff with other people. And once Guru passed, it was going to be like, well, what am I going to do now? Yeah. Am I going to quit being Premier or not? Because he was Premier even when Guru was alive. Like, from the stories that I've been able to pick up and manage that I've asked, is that Guru was almost on a resentment mode, that Premier was like, everyone was like, yo, who the fuck is Premier? What's happening? He was working with everyone left and right. And it's not that they didn't want to work with Guru, but Guru's, I think, tone and style delivery could only certain people could really fuck with it and put it into their tracks. You know, like you wouldn't rap with a chopper and have Guru on the next verse. It wouldn't make sense. But you can get a Premier beat and have a chopper bust on it all day, right?
Right.
So it happens to where you can outshine the producer stuff, but maybe artistically he didn't want to work with anybody else. You know,
it could be. Again, I mean, it's the whole vibe. I mean, because we don't know. We're quick to say like, "Yo, I would love to hear this rapper on this beat," but everyone has their own style, their own work ethic, and I know it. I know producers that say like, "No, I'm not gonna send you a beat by email. I need you to be at the studio."
Yeah.
You know, like
I think Premier's is one of those dudes.
Who was the Cookbook was telling us about Ev.
Ev, oh yeah, you cannot leave with these beats. You can only hear
right here
because
I think that's pretty good.
It's not to be I'm prima donna shit. It was like this is how I work, bro. Like if Eminem tells me don't do it like this, do it like this. Oh yeah, absolutely, let's do it that way because he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that Cook does it, but Cook hasn't had maybe the atmosphere with Ev to know how he worked until he got there because he was almost kind of like, yo, he was like, don't fucking leave, bro. I was like, all right, I'm not going to leave. Like, I don't think he went in there knowing that, right? That's just how creatively he works. Maybe Ev would have been like, you know what? Let me speed it up a tempo for what you're bringing.
Yeah, because
let me fix it.
Producers, I mean, basically, it's the foundation. A lyricist is not going to tell a producer, this is how it's going to sound. A producer is going to tell you, let me hear you, or let me hear a few of your rhymes, and then you mold it off of that.
A good producer that cares about the art, that cares about the craft, like you and me talked about just earlier in the episode, should be like, no, I'm not going to release it for you to boost some shit. The producers that you buy $25 off a beat off of YouTube, bro, they couldn't give a fuck less. Again, goes back to the spirit, the essence of hip hop. Do you really think the essence of hip hop was to be like 20,000 miles away and then you give me $50 and here's a beat from a guy in Thailand? It's a blessing, but it's also something that the essence is missing there. The ability, the love to the track is not going to be present if you're just babysitting and sending your shit off and it's like you know, and the producer is as much an artist as the MC is.
Of course. And going back, I mean, again, going back to that energy, it reminds me of a story with Bone Thugs and Harmony. So they say that you know, that whole they found Eazy-E, blah blah blah. They get back to the studio, and Bone Thugs and Harmony was a fan of, I think it was the Menage a Trois or something like that, a group, Ruthless Records. Yeah. So they're in the studio. And DJ Unique, which became their producer, was like kicking them beats, right? Rhythm D was one of them, and a few others were producers with that first EP. But when they met with DJ Unique, he kicked them like some, you know, quote unquote G-Funk, and Eazy-E was like, "What the fuck? How come you guys aren't feeling this?" And you know, this came out of Crazy Bones' mouth, like, "We're not feeling this." Yo, who produced that one song by Menage a Trois? That's the type of flow. And DJ Unique was like, "Oh, that's what you like." So DJ Unique said, take him out, whatever. You know, I might chop the story up a little bit. Take him out, let them go shop or eat or whatever. Come back in a minute. When they came back, DJ Unique had a bunch of beats, and they were like, yo, that's what we like. Then they started vibing off of that. That vibe in the studio, knowing that MC style, knowing the, you know, because you can't have just any producer, like you said. Any producer is not just gonna do it for you. He can have that one banger, and then what? That's it.
Yeah.
You know. So if you're working, especially if you're working on an album, if you're doing one track, then, you know, whatever.
And there comes times where like you are at a producer's house and they'll play something, like, oh dude, this is dope. I want to spit on this, right? It'll happen. That's good. That's cool. But there's nothing like having the beat custom made to you, right? So one of my dreams is to like, and I've worked with Eddie Fika on this a couple of times. I'm like, okay, this is what I wrote. Make a beat to this. Reverse the roles, and not only will you get your muscles working again, right? Your artistic muscles. Now it's a whole different style of making music, right? A whole different way, and keeps you in lyrical shape. It keeps you artistically and mentally growing, moving and stuff. Instead of just having the same formula over. Here's the beat that I like. Let me go dig through it. I like it. I'm gonna write to it. It wasn't meant for you, bro. The essence is not there. It's not attached to you spiritually. That's why that track is just a track. That's why it's not a song. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of MCs forget that when they're in this game. They all want to spit. Okay, they're spitting. They're making tracks. None of them are making songs. But your favorite artist, the reason you love them is because they were able to cross over into making a song. You know what I'm saying? That's why Atmosphere was able to move on, because in Overcast, in Headshots, he gave you one or two songs. You were like, this is dope, but before spit. Okay, cool. But Slug, out of all of them, was able to deliver songs.
It's a big
every once in a while, and you were like, oh. So now Overcast drops, you're on it 100%, and then Slug hasn't stopped since then delivering songs. I haven't heard a track from Atmosphere in forever. but I've heard 1,000 songs that are just like boom.
That kind of reminds me of like Blueprint and Illogic. There used to be Greenhouse Effect. So Blueprint is an MC producer. Illogic has produced some too, but Illogic has some. I mean, some shit that'll make you cry, bro. Like Third Trimester, you know, talking about, you know, them being, you know, him and his girl being too young, so they had an abortion, blah blah blah, and it's like, damn, it has a grown man thinking like, fuck, you know. But again, you can't just get a beat off the internet and be like, okay, I have a sad song that might make somebody that, in a sense, should make somebody cry, but it doesn't because the beat doesn't hug the lyrics the way it should.
Exactly.
But that's where Blueprint came in and be like, you know, let me do this, blah, blah, blah. But, again, producers, I give a lot of credit, whether I'm a purist or not, but, you know, I'm the type of cat, I have to have a physical. So it's like, let's say Master Ace is releasing an album, right? Yeah. This Friday. I can buy it on iTunes easily. I'm gonna go to my fucking. There's no local record stores here, right? But like Amoeba and cop the CD.
Music Revolution.
They probably won't have it. They've changed it up.
Yeah,
shout out to Music Revolution.
It's all shirts.
But they have a vape store right there now too.
Yeah, I've been there.
But Self Provoke was just there.
Yeah, they did the meeting group, right?
But I want to have a physical CD, a cassette, whatever, because I want to read who produced it, what sample. You know what I mean? Cats like Quell Chris, going back to abstract stuff. I mean, again, this is not for everybody, but you know, Quell Chris LP. And we're talking 2000s, right? Not LP is on some different stuff because he's getting, you know, Run the Jewels and all that. It's a little different, but LP was on point when he came out with the whole Def Jux. His A Fantastic Damage album, fucking insane, bro. Personally. The best produced album by LP has got to be Iron Galaxy by Cannibal Ox. But
I was going to say Cannibal Ox. We're talking abstract. Cannibal Ox, Buck 65.
Buck 65.
I mean, like, there's just even like Josh Martinez.
That's another one.
They were abstract. Like, someone like Josh was a little different. Look up Josh Martinez. Okay, stop what you're doing. Go to you. Yes, you. Don't turn around. You look stupid. No. Josh Martinez, I want to say Seattle. Pretty sure he's from Seattle. Josh Martinez had a stance on like environmentalism.
Yeah.
The environment.
Fuck it, run with it.
Whatever. Where but abstract flow, delivery patterns, and just stuff like that. Typical Cats. You can kind of make the argument that they work, you know, and yes, very hip hop, but some Quail was weird as shit dropping over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a beauty part to the abstract hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Right now that you mentioned Buck 65, my next producer, I have a few.
Yeah,
so like Larange is a new producer, crazy insane. I'm not gonna pick him, but he's a dope one. Larange is a dope one. Nobody is a dope producer too. He's been he produced for Tumex. He produced for Project Blow, Abstract Rude, and all them. Check him out. Nobody. The album's called Soulmates, but nonetheless, I think I'm gonna go with Sixtoo. So I don't know if you ever heard Sixtoo, right?
Sixtoo.
So the album that I chose is Chewing on Glass and Other Miracle Cures. Now it got to the point, bro. Like it got to the point when I go to record stores, right?
Your head is like a bank vault of just hip hop knowledge.
I love it, brother.
It inspires me every time I sit down and talk to you, dude. It's fucking crazy.
See, I got tired, bro. Like I got tired of the. I think it was more like the No Limit, Master P, you know, kind of covers. I don't know if you've noticed it, like the name, the Big Timers, and like it was all gold and a bunch of cars, and you know, I got tired of that. Yeah. So I used to work at Warehouse Music, right? Yeah. So I'd see where the new music comes in, I'd put it out on display, and I'd notice albums and like there was nothing on the cover, or it's just writing, and that called me for some reason. That's like, oh, let me try. It was hit or miss, you know. A good 85% of it was dope. Some of the stuff was like, maybe not. But like I found Eli and Grouch like that. I found Visionaries like that. I found, you know, a bunch of stuff. Sixtoo was one of them. I looked at it and it was a half have a face, and the cranium part was open and the brain is exposed. But this is all drawing, right?
Yeah,
it's not. It's, it's just real.
It's
weird.
not real.
Yeah, 3D, real weird shit. And the 6'2" was not graffiti, but you can hardly tell what it says.
Yeah.
So I picked it up. The name alone, Chewing on Glass and Other Miracle Cures.
Yeah, that's just
that alone got me, right?
Yeah.
So I put it on. I was like, yo, this is dope. Where the hell have I been, right? So you brought up $1.65.
Yep.
Now, Sixtoo is a Canadian producer, right? He was part of a group called Sebitones with $1.65. Hence why I brought it up, right?
Yeah.
So, again, Chewing on Glass and Other Miracle Cures, released, I believe it was 2004. It's slower. It wasn't one that I wanted to go with. You brought up $1.65, so I think I'm going to run with it. But the song's called Box Cutter Emporium 3, so it's part 3. Again, Chewing on Glass, Other Miracle Cures, 2004. About to get into it. Save the Hip Hop Culture Radio. Sixtoo. That was off the album Chewing on Glass and Other Miracle Cures, Box Cutter Emporium Part 3, 2004. You can tell it's, you were saying you can hear some $1.65 on that. It's I don't want to, that is abstract. It's a little different, it's kind of one of those you want to zone out at night, smoking your thing maybe or whatever, but it's not boom bap, you're not going to get a primo type feel for it, but it's a little
I'm telling you, I could definitely hear some $1.65 and like Quail and all these cats.
Yeah.
They love using like the longest possible words that they could find on the track.
Well, and if anything, like that's how I kind of flow, bro. Like I'm trying to, and people tell me like, yo, you got to slow down.
Yeah.
If talking about producing and lyrics, like when someone shoots me a beat and I hear it's like, certain beats per minute or whatever, I'm trying to fit as many words as I can into one bar.
Yeah.
The problem is when I get on stage, I'm running out of breath.
Yeah.
So people are like, yo, you gotta give that
But
time.
I wouldn't say it was a chopper style.
No.
Like, I wouldn't call it chopper, but you are trying to spit as many bars. No, many words.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
You're trying to spit as many words as you can in the 16 bars that you get. Is a difference, and then people, there's easy to confuse them, but then there's also people that try to squeeze in as many bars as they can in the track. But I see you want to squeeze as many words as you can in the bars.
Right.
That's a little complex. That's a little difficult.
Yeah.
Dude,
So it's for you guys to know.
Yeah.
I just spit a little something for concepts.
you did.
That's what he's talking about.
It was hard. It was super dope. The vocabulary has always been one thing that I've always prided myself in, especially when I'm rhyming.
Right.
I've gotten really blessed with the stuff that I've been able to do and deliver, even though admittedly I'm not as active now because, the show's taking priority.
Yeah.
I got a call from a school one time that they were going to compare one of my tracks to trap music.
Oh.
And they called me and asked me if they could do that. They're like, hey, we're running a course for this class. It was actually an email. We want to use a track. It was called, if I'm not mistaken, it was Preemptive Revenge.
Okay.
Right? Preemptive Revenge is the name of the track. And then we want to compare it to a trap song. Do we have your permission to do that? And I'm like, yeah, go. I felt a sense of pride.
Yeah, hell
because
yeah.
I was like, oh, hey, here's trap, and then here's concept.
Wait, side note or question.
Yeah.
How'd they come across your music?
However they come across the songs that they were coming across.
That's
from.
dope, bro.
Which to me was, I don't have anyone that's like, you'll hear now, some MCs will have songs that hey, my song is appearing on the Dexter's.
Yeah.
I don't have anyone, what they do is they sell it to a company, so a company will offer to buy them, and then they'll send it out, and then shows are always looking for tracks, so then blah, blah, blah. I don't have something like that. Mine would just be all stuff. And when I was a kid, I remember I'd have a medical dictionary, and I'd have like a regular dictionary, a thesaurus, and I would try to write, and I would look up words that would rhyme with the scheme. And dude, that's how complex it was. So my vocab has always been strong, even too much. I'm sure like what your friends were telling you, right?
Yeah.
Someone told me the New York Times is written for intellectuals, right? The New York Times is written for intellectuals, but sometimes in your vocabulary you get lost in what it's hard to keep up with your vocabulary for the layman person. And to me, it was like, I'm not trying to confuse you. I've just always considered that to be super dope. But my style has never been fast like yours. Mine's never been that. Mine's always been.
Yeah.
My flow's always been different. It's always been like Cannabis Slug's pace. Right, when yours is like.
Well, and don't get it twisted though. Like that's one style I do.
Yeah.
I like touching, like the second little piece that I hit you off with, which to me, like I used to be a battle rapper, right? And I can get real grimy, like but it got to the point where like everyone was. I don't want to say destructive, but just mean on the mic, like, I'm going to grab your head, blah, 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 Cannabis style, Chino XL style. So I thought, okay, how can I be deadly without having to scream at the top of my lungs and tell you that I'm going to, perforate your lungs with this pencil or whatever, you know what I mean? So then I thought, like, my words, so it's, I'm not going to say it right now, but, I want to keep it a secret.
Yeah,
but, just little tongue twisters, not so much a chopper style, but just tongue twisters and shit takes a lot of practice too, bro. Because
I can imagine. Yeah.
Right now when I was spitting to you, my tongue just kind of didn't say that word, and it's like, okay, I gotta get ready. When I used to go to the studio, people were like, bro, like hurry up, like come on. It's like if one little piece is wrong, no, I want to enunciate every word good, right? But I have different styles, bro, and I'm sure like you do too. Like it's not always the same.
Yeah, but always you could. I've always the one thing that I've always pride myself in being able to do and that I love in my artists is they'll spit you some love song, that's whatever, but they don't let you forget that they can spit while doing it.
Yeah.
So it was that and imagery. So my one thing that I've always been very happy with and that I always love when I read a poem or I'm reading a book or something is the imagery. So I always like to deliver the lyrics in a form of imagery. I'll give you an example. Choose a style, any style. I'll push them by the piles. I got them neatly filed in 50-foot filing cabinets that stretch out 40 miles. So pick a style, any style. I push them by the pile. I got them neatly filed in 50-foot filing cabinets that stretch out 40 miles. So it's like I like painting that little picture.
Yeah.
And the wordplay.
It's not. It's not rhyming at the end of each bar. You're rhyming in between.
Yeah.
But at the same time, painting a picture.
And then I do have simple ones that rhyme at the end of the word, at the end of the sentence, that are. And then some I write intentionally like that. I'm like, okay, no, I'm gonna try to do this different style of composing the track with these words. But if the beat doesn't lend itself to that, you can't force it.
Of course not.
It'll look ridiculous.
Of course not.
One of
right.
my favorite producers is Stoupe, the enemy of mankind.
Boom.
So the reason that I chose Stoupe is because not only Stoupe is the producer for Jedi Mind Tricks.
Right.
Mind Tricks. He's also worked with Cannabis. He's also worked with R.A. the Rugged Man. He's worked with Diabolic. He's worked with all the artists that kind of have the same energy, but his beats lend themselves for you to be able to do what you want with them, even though there might not be like a raw, aggressive beat. You coming raw and aggressive on it sounds super dope, which is what Jedi Mind Tricks does best, right? Like a beat you wouldn't think of, but Vinny Paz would come in
murder it.
in some shit. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, give me 1 minute. All right, okay. So I got it. We had to do a little research. The track that I'm gonna present to you, Exhibit A, Stoupe, the Enemy of Mankind, Jedi Mind Tricks. This is off the album Violent by Design. The
Great
track,
fucking album.
Amazing.
Great fucking album.
Dude, Jedi Mind Tricks. I like Vinny as Jedi Minds more than I like Vinny by himself on his solo stuff.
Question.
Yeah.
And I ask because Jedi Mind has like a cult following, right? I Atmosphere, Slug, and all that. There's like a cult following for those type of groups. Jedi Mind is one of them. Like Psycho Realm and all that. And this is my personal opinion. Like Violent by Design, love it. Classic album. Their debut album. Remember their debut album?
Yeah.
It was can't remember the name of it, but it's a long ass name.
Okay.
However, the style that they deliver on their debut album is completely different.
They were kids, bro.
No, and I
Vinny
get
was
that.
like 19
No, I get
or
that.
18.
The psychosocial, chemical, biological, something or other, right? That's the name of the album, right? Again, when I heard that album, it was like, holy shit, they're talking about the Bible and they're talking about like ancient times, blah, blah. And then when they came with Violent by Design, I was like, oh wait, now he's like, his voice is different. Vinny Paz's voice is different. He's more on the battle, like I'm gonna fuck you up type stuff. What style to you talking about Jedi?
Well,
do you like?
The first album that you're talking about, the blah blah blah, that it would be like Atmosphere's Overcast.
Perfectly
and
said.
This would be more like their Lucy Ford. So once they got out that the fact that they were rapping and they let out that and they picked up an audience, like I said, they stopped making tracks and they started delivering songs, I think. And also Vinny was super young. Was a kid, dude. They were like 19. So by the
that came out in 97 or something like that.
So by the second track, by the second CD, he must have been 20 maybe. Now he's maturing and getting older, and then they basically kept the same style all the way through now. On a Jedi Mind Tricks album, on a Vinny Paz album, it's give or take good songs, a lot of repetition because it's always it's similar, the same thing. And even Jedi Mind Tricks went through a phase where Just the Law had a voice change in the middle of dropping tracks, and even like 4 years ago when they were still a group, like his voice was it was like little before it wasn't like that, so but to me
they had a little falling out too.
There's a whole story behind that, but I want to get to the bottom of that. I want to figure that out.
Cool.
So the track that I chose to my second producer would be Stoupe, the Enemy of Mankind. The song is I Against I, featuring Planetary of Outer Space. And this is a Jedi Mind Tricks off of the Violent by Design album, Save the Hip Hop Culture Radio.
in my historical oracle. I blast metaphorical editorials, educating in my territorial. Get torn, heavily armed with 70 bombs that'll blast divine like the heavenly song. Your men will be gone if they explore my deepest thought. I beat hearts in two, then ask demons for chalk. I'm dreaming to stalk MCs in the dark. I walk blindfolded, the mind's golden. Watch how you talk, my style is an art. Recognize lyrical purity, all hell breaks loose like a mall with no security. The dopest vocalist, with my third eye I focus where I proceed. Flow with the speed of an indie motorist. There's more to this than wasted. Shiny chains and bracelets, I hear tracks, my tongue wait for the brains to blaze it. Amazing, angelic, tell it to your peoples. Come on, yo, Philadelphia's like the sun, cause we shine with rhymes. The underground is like the moon, you only see us at times. And at times we're like skies where the stars recline. Jedi mind, outer space, coincide and combine. Philadelphia's like the sun, cause we shine with rhymes. Underground is like the moon, you only see us at times. And at times we're like skies where the stars recline. Jedi mind, outer space, coincide and combine.
Raw poems, bury your body in catacombs. Rip your soul from your limbs like brims from Jim Jones. In the twilight zone, we disperse cowards. Vampires that stalk Earth on reverse hours. Night calls, we talking to facade. My latitude is gone. Darts out my jaws, leave eternal scars. You're left breathing out of tube straws by the marksman. Harnessing science for the mildest and charlatan. Raps will make you parallax. My domain has power to block synapse inside veins. War shots fired off by the army type warlocks. Devil's plan is to have you drip in the Clorox. Beast deceiving us, ways devious, possessing my peace. The walk streets with stolen heat like Prometheus. Elements rushing you back to hell again. Philadelphians crush your skeleton to fucking gelatin.
Philadelphia's like the sun, cause we shine with rhymes. The underground is like the moon, you only see us at times. And at times we're like skies where the stars recline. Jedi mind, outer space, coincide and combine. Philadelphia's like the sun, cause we shine with rhymes. Underground is like the moon, you only see us at times. And at times we're like skies where the stars recline. Jedi mind, outer space, coincide and combine.
Don't ever come at me with war. I've severed scores of orators. Rappers fall onto all fours like minotaurs. When Jedi mind and the planetary be farming this, we stand one step above you like a pharmacist. With ominous, detonate the bomb. Heads dread, hallucinogenics in Vietnam. I spit a song, create bombs like an Iraqi. Swear on the Bible and then lie to Ecclesiastes.
Assault and battery.
Battle me, that'll be what split you. Store enormous amounts of energy in the crystal weaver will constrict you. The guards are militant. You faggots couldn't go to left like you was impotent. You ignorant, your whole clique is split in half. You step in the law path and face a law wrath. What?
Like the sun, cause we shine with rhymes. The underground is like the moon, you only see us at times. And at times we're like skies where the stars recline. Jedi mind, outer space, coincide and combine. Philadelphia's like the sun, cause we shine with rhymes. Underground is like the moon, you only see us at times. And at times we're like skies where the stars recline. Jedi mind, outer space, coincide and combine.
That's just too dope.
Cause we shine with rhymes. Underground is like the moon, you only see us at times. And at times we're like skies where the stars recline. Jedi mind, outer space, coincide and combine.
What?
Okay.
Good vibes.
Eye Against Eye, Stoupe, The Enemy of Mankind, Violent by Design, Jedi Matrix. Almost melodic. Dun, 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 dun. And then he could have done it in piano, but he did it in like a high pitch, ding, 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 which gives it almost like a children's story type vibe. But what we notice is in between the verses, he doesn't let that finish. He goes dun 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 dun, and then into dun, and interrupts. It's not until you hit the chorus that he understands the that's gonna kind of catch her, because you're subconsciously you're picking up the tunes, and then it interrupts, so you're like paying attention to it again.
Yeah, it kind of keeps the mind just like
until
like, whoa, what happened there?
Dun 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 dun, like until they get the chorus where you can finish. That's how a producer is painting something for, right? So he's like, without words, he's making an entire. That's a song within a song that you can write a song to, right? But what we were saying is that you could come 100 different ways to that beat. You can come with something. You could have made a dope love song to that.
Because it'll fit.
It'll
fit. You have to be a good lyricist, but it'll fit.
It'll fit.
The storyline.
You can hear a dope love song, or you can hear like a storytelling track, but they spit bars over it, and they were like, "Never come at me with woe, Solomon on 100 toe." Like you were like, "Who?" You know, stepping on the last path, you face the last round. What? Like you hear some raw, hardcore shit.
I have no words to do.
And that's the beauty of producers, the unspoken heroes of hip hop. That a good producer gives you a track, a song that's already completed, but you're able to write a new song on top of that. Right. And that's that's the kind of producer that makes songs with people and artists the caliber of Jedi Mind Tricks, the caliber of Atmosphere, the beat itself, the instrumental itself is a beauty. Now here's an artist that I trust enough, compose some lyrics to it, boom. There it is.
See, and then you got producers too. I'm not talking about Stoupe in this case, but there's producers that will just loop a bass line, a few strings, and the thing is the exact same shit for 3 minutes.
And it's boring.
You know,
it's boring. It's repetitive.
It could get entertaining once you throw some lyrics on it, but nonetheless, the lyrics have to be hardcore.
Yeah.
To be like, all right, you kind of dismiss the beat, but if you have a beat. And like you said, something interrupts it, and I kind of call it like, you know, you're walking down the street and you trip. LP did that in like early 2000 with like a lot of Cannibal Lock stuff or his own stuff, where like the beat is kicking and then a snare comes in when normally the kick drum would come in, or the kick drum comes in when normally a snare would come in, or a hi hat, and it almost like you're walking and almost like you lose your step, or like someone that doesn't know how to keep, you know, their two-step when they're dancing, like you do a 3-step instead of a 2, like whoa, like what? But it still comes back on beat.
Yeah.
You know, I said it before. My wife calls that
scrambled eggs.
Yeah, it's like that doesn't make any sense. Like, yo, hell yeah, it does.
It makes it.
Yeah.
No, but so a good producer can be told, and a good song, good lyricist, good everything. You know, we'll give you a few examples.
Yep.
Stand Alone is the track something that you want to listen to. When I heard this Jedi Mind Tricks tracks, first, not only was this is super dope, the beat is super dope.
Yeah.
The beat is super original, super dope. The lyrics on top of it are super dope. Now you have someone like 50 Cent. Alone, if you were to hear 50 Cent rap alone with no beat behind it, you'd be thinking this is the most garbage thing in the world. Put a Dre beat behind it. There you go.
And then you got it.
There you got it. And then you can get further into his biggest hit, like In the Club. Written by Lloyd Banks, produced by Dr. Dre. How's that 50 Cent's track? Because he verbalized what somebody else wrote on a beat that someone else made. Yeah. Like, then you start losing the spirit, and it just artistically, it's just not there. But you can listen to that Jedi Mind Tricks. I got the Rip the Jacker by Cannabis. The instrumentals. And I can listen to those all day. Stoupe, just dude. And I can listen to Biz Spit a cappella, and it boom, dope. That's how you know.
It brings up another good point. I want to say I've said this before, but J Live said 4 out of 5 DJs agree that a whack MC still kills a dope beat, and a whack ass beat still spoils a dope rhyme, like a whack ass song could ruin a good time.
Ooh,
right. And
wait, who was it?
J Live. It's a song called All of Y'all by it's on the JS1 Claim Stake.
I gotta hear that.
It's dope.
That's a fucking tattoo, bro.
That's a tattoo dope, bro. Shit. It was dope. And actually, I thought of putting it on a little tattoo, but
it's a chest piece.
It's dope, and it's true because you can have an ill lyricist, Cannabis, let's say, but has some mediocre production, which some of his albums were, and I think that kind of where it might have hurt his career.
Right.
Mind you, come Rip the Jacker. Incredible. Stoupe came in and just like,
because not only did Stoupe understand, okay, cannabis is cannabis. Cannabis understood. All right, Stoupe is Stoupe. I have to
they
come
both
up.
had to match it up.
And I don't know. To me, it doesn't sound like anything that I would have heard Jedi Mind Tricks on so much.
Oh, no, it's completely
especially that album. So maybe I don't want to say that were his throwaways because they're super dope, but I'm sure that I'm sure the Jedi had a priority to the beats, or I don't know what. Maybe not. Maybe he composed it entirely for Biz and Biz came to him with an idea, and they had a mentality because there was something behind. It wasn't a concept album, but it was an album that introduced Rip the Jacka to the audience, and it had to be that dope. And Cannabis has dope beats, but sometimes the beats can be...
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you got to understand, and not just with Cannabis, Chino XL, there's some tracks where it's like, the rhyme, like his lyricism is insane. And I think we talk about Chino XL and Cannabis a lot. I don't want you guys to think like, we're jocking them, but we really do. But no, let's just an ill lyricist, right? Yeah. You can come off hard as hell, but if your beats don't match, or probably even go a little bit above what your energetic approach is, it's not going to have that feeling. You're not going to have a Chino XL track, like Bad Man Bible. I think that beat is fucking perfect because it feels like philanthropic. It feels like, medieval.
That the beat kind of engulfs you as you listen to it. It surrounds you. It's just it's a deep, dark tone to that beat, and then him with a Bad Man's Bible.
It sounds like it's an orchestra. You got like,
he paints his imagery with his tone, with his lyrics, and with the beat. It paints this energy, and then he can take it to a complete different track where he'll do the same, completely different feeling, completely different place, and that's a beauty of a producer, right? That's
Producers
a beauty.
Are,
so
I even think, I know we're gonna cut it, but I even think production, because producers, I mean, it goes down to sampling, record digging. I mean, that's an element within itself.
Oh, for sure.
So finding the right loop, or finding the right break, finding the right sample for the right MC. I mean, there's different branches that come out of this one tree.
Yeah,
you can go different routes.
I think producing should be its own element in hip hop.
Same here,
and it's not.
It's
somewhere in between DJing and MCing.
Yeah,
it's kind of grandfathered in, but that should be an element for itself,
100%.
bro. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
And nowadays, everyone has their own. I don't want to say the name, but fuck it. Karis once says, he
says he doesn't care.
Fashion. I said I don't care. Shit, I'm gonna be on the tabloids. But fashion is an element. I wouldn't call fashion an element. Sub-element, maybe. But nowadays, people throw in, elements here and there.
No, fashion falls more into the lifestyle. But an element, something you can engage in and contribute. Because what are you contributing with your fashion? It's not really
clothing line. I wouldn't. I wouldn't call that hip hop.
That's more like your entrepreneurship skills, and he wants that to be its own element too. Right. But if you the five like water, earth, water. These are the 5 elements of hip-hop. I get it. But producing, I think, got very much forgotten. Because, again, the DJ wasn't... The MC was the main, and then the DJ... So, I think pretty much forgotten to be added because it's the second most important thing on a song.
Well, what are you going to do?
The first.
I'm going to take it back. Without the DJ, there would be no MC. Without the DJ, there would be no producer. If there's no producer or DJ, where's the MC? So,
and you can rearrange those because without the producer, what is the DJ scratching? And without the MC, well, what is the DJ? Like you can move those around, but producing is as much important as MCing, as DJing, as breakdancing, as graffiti, as anything. So that's my vote. When I run things, I'm gonna add that 6th element. The fifth element.
I'm voting for concept.
So, Sector, thank you for coming through again.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank me for coming back for me. I'm thanking myself.
Yeah. Thank yourself.
Hell yeah. Allow myself to thank myself.
It's always a blessing to be here and be able to do this, brother.
Thank you. So we'll be back next week. We don't know what the topic is.
Yeah. Organic, baby. Organic.
At WakeTheFlokUp, at Save the Hip Hop Culture on Instagram. Comment on the pictures. Follow us. And let us know what you want to hear. What's the next topic? We're thinking about doing Whack MCs. Right? Because we do praise the 90s hip-hop. We do. Yeah. But there was a lot of whack 90s shit.
We might just do that next week.
Just
Della Funk Conversation. You heard that's on Whack MC?
Yeah.
No, that's not Della Funk Conversation.
No, I thought
he
you were saying he was in
sampled
town because Deltron is coming in town.
Oh, don't tell me that,
Yeah,
bro.
dude. Come on, bro.
Yeah, Concept
Come
Sonic.
on, son.
All right.
So
All right.
that's too much. But Deltron is coming to town. So Del, another abstract MC to kind of do
Del's
both a little
insane,
bit.
brother.
Shout out to
Del's
that.
insane.
So for Sector 3,
Sec 3.
at Save the Hip Hop Culture. Follow us on Twitter too. Give them your Twitter.
Twitter is actually it's Mexika B-Boy.
Yeah.
It's MEXIKA B-Boy.
Yeah.
I did it and didn't think I was gonna get followers, and now it's like I got to stick with it. So that's what it's at. Yeah.
And you
Facebook.
know, we do all this shit that me and Sector do. We do a lot of it by ourselves. Sector does have a street team and stuff to help them.
Right.
But a lot of the managing the page and that stuff. So we try to be as active as we can, but we do still have a show to produce, stuff to do. So we do our best. So just kind of have patience with us. Follow us on the Instagram at WakeTheFlokUp, at SaveTheHipHopCulture. Let us know what topics you want to hear next. Maybe somebody in town that you guys know of that you want to interview.
Yeah.
We have them coming up in
What
the
you
future.
like, what you don't like. I mean, obviously, this is for you guys.
Oh,
Our main focus is the youth. Obviously, this podcast is we just do it. I just do it.
I
We
try
do it
to
out of
keep
love.
them at an hour and a half, but because we just have so much to say.
I
bro.
can
It's
sit
too
here
much.
talking forever. I talked to my cousin Joe, and I'm like, bro, you got to come down to one of the shows.
Yeah.
Because maybe, you know what? I might have him. I might interview him, my cousin,
Okay.
because him and I grew up. I mean, you know what? Fuck that. We're gonna have that. Joe,
That's what's up.
you're on this
Well,
next one,
let
brother.
me say this right now. You see these two here?
Yeah.
And this is all mechanics, but I'm going to grab one that can fit 4.
Cool.
You know, I'm working on that.
All
And then,
right.
and then you remove this clip and you put on 2, and then you can add 2 more. So up to 6.
So we can have fucking all
Wu-Tang.
hieroglyphics.
Yeah, we'll
here.
have a whole
All
hieroglyph.
right,
We'll have
cool.
fucking visionaries.
Cool.
Shout out to Tumex.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
Two
man.
Mex, get well, brother. He's been doing good, bro.
Is he?
Yeah, he's been. He's.
Hope he gets better.
Man, it's crazy. Get healthy.
Thank you guys for joining us again. We're here every Thursday. So WakeTheFlokUp.net. Go and you check out the prior episodes. We're on SoundCloud. We're going to be on iTunes for the summer, so look out for that. And then we're everywhere. We're looking for our stickers, look for our events, see us, give us some love. Thank you for the support. So for Sector 3, for Save the Hip Hop Culture Radio, for Save the Hip Hop Culture Instagram, for Wake the Flock Up, for real hip hop everywhere. This is Concept 714 and Sector 3. Save the Hip Hop Culture Radio.
Hip hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at. Hip hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at. Hip hop and rap, yeah, that's where my heart's at.
You are now tuned into the Wake the Flock Up Network.